The Last of Us premiered its 5th episode last night, and I can definitely say it's going to be the saddest in the series. We explore Henry's and Sam's relationship and how it's so similar to Joel and Ellie. We also get a pretty cool long action scene near the end of the episode. And of course, we can't leave out the ending that broke us when the game first came out.
My blood is medicine.
I think it's personally my favorite episode so far. Let me know how y'all feel about the episode down below. Thumbs up if you liked the video, and of course, sub if you're new. Alright, let's get into it. The episode starts off with the aftermath of Fedra being overtook by the revolution. We see everything from Henry and Sam's point of view. This was obviously a few days before Ellie and Joel came through, so we're seeing what the revolution is doing to the people that were collaborating with Fedra. Henry was one of the collaborators which got Kathleen's brother killed, and that's the whole reason why Henry's being hunted right now. Henry makes a plan with Sam saying that they're gonna go into a building that's a few blocks away. You then cut back to Kathleen.
I used to be so scared of these people. Betraying your neighbors to Fedra, watching us get thrown in prison so that you could get medicine, alcohol, fucking apples.
Although we do see Kathleen as the bad guy in this, it does make sense on why she wants revenge. All of the people that snitched the Fedra basically got her and a bunch of her friends killed. We can definitely infer that Henry did a similar thing. The Last of Us has always showed us that perspective does matter in certain situations. Yeah, we can call Kathleen a villain, but at the same time, her brother was killed by someone snitching. But we can't even blame Henry because it was probably just for Sam. I just find this whole thing very interesting due to how season 2 is going to be the second game. The second game is all about perspective and revenge. So I wonder if they're going to use this mini plot line for Ellie later on.
Kill them.
He's with Edelstein.
Edelstein was actually the old man that she killed last episode.
Okay.
He had a place to hole up in the open city.
We then cut back to Edelstein helping Sam and Henry. He leaves enough food for 11 days. Henry proposes a plan to Edelstein, saying that he wants to sneak out through the tunnels. The same tunnels that he's talking about is the same tunnels that we saw the bloater coming out of in the last episode. Sam is deaf, so he needs Henry to translate it all for him. Instead of doing this, he just tells him that they're all going to be safe there. I also find it very interesting that Henry is doing his best to make sure that Sam has a good childhood. Joel starts doing this in the last episode after he realizes that Ellie has killed before. He also gives Sam a bunch of crayons so he can start coloring around the wall. It shows that it's been 10 days later and the man still hasn't came back yet. They only have 1 can of food left and Sam wants to eat desperately. Henry tells him that they'll open it up later because they want to reserve it as much as they can. They head out until they find the building that Joel and Ellie were sleeping in. This is exactly how we got to the end of the last episode, and I really love that we saw it in their perspective.
Listen, I'm gonna trust you.
Who are you?
I'm the most wanted man in Kansas City. My guess is you're running a close second.
Henry and Sam lower their gun and start eating with Joel and Ellie. Henry is able to trust Joel because he saw Joel and Ellie getting shot by the same people that were chasing him. We know that Henry and Sam didn't have any food, so this is actually Joel's supply of food. I don't think Joel would have shared their food with him. Ellie definitely had to convince him.
I'm Joel. Look, you ate, we didn't kill each other. Let's call this a win-win and move on.
After Joel says this, Henry tells Joel that he has a plan to get out of the city. Joel heard rumors that Casey Fedra were horrible people, and he was right. Apparently they were raping and killing all of the civilians around the area, which is exactly why Kathleen led the group that took over Fedra.
But you're not Fedra.
No, worse.
After Joel hearing this, he doesn't want to work with him anymore. Henry insists because he knows the entire city like it's on the back of his hand. So he'd be able to help Joel and Ellie escape. The only reason that Henry and Sam hasn't escaped is because they haven't had the opportunity to. They also haven't had the manpower to. But Henry said that after watching Joel and Ellie kill those men, that he knew that they were perfect for this job.
How are we getting out?
Highways, downtown, us. This whole area belongs to Kathleen. How do we get across? There's a bunch of buildings, all put up by the same developer. Share these tunnels, including tunnels here, travel underground, and pop up here. Head down, pedestrian bridge over the river, free as a bird.
Now, the plan on paper does make sense and does look like it could work perfectly, until Henry reveals that they use these underground tunnels to drive all the infected down there 15 years ago. But Henry was told by someone that he knew in Fedra that they actually cleared this place and there's no infected there anymore. But the general public still thinks that there's infected in there, so they wouldn't even risk going down there.
They're going to help us escape.
They head to the tunnel and they see that Henry was right. There's literally no infected here at all.
People went underground after Outbreak Day, built settlements.
After walking a bit through the tunnel, they find an old settlement. They decide to just relax here for now and wait until it's a little bit darker so they can move in the shadows. They also reveal that Sam also likes comic books like Ellie does in The Last of Us. This is a nice callback to the game because I'm pretty sure this exact comic book was found in the game. Sam also teaches Ellie the sign language for the comic book's famous quote.
Endure, survive. Endure, survive. Fuck yeah, man.
Joel and Henry notice this bonding. Joel uses it as an opportunity to apologize to Henry. He said he understands why he collaborated if it's to help Sam. He does confirm that he did collaborate to help Sam.
He got sick. Leukemia. There was one drug that worked, and it belonged to Fedra. And if I wanted some, I was gonna take something big. So I gave them something big. The leader of the resistance movement in Kansas City, and Kathleen's brother.
You can see Joel's face. It kind of seems like he's trying to decide between which one's more fucked up. The fact that Henry did that, or the fact that they're still trying to kill Henry for saving a kid. This situation is definitely not just black and white. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below.
He was so beautiful. I'm not. He would be horrified by the things I've done. You've come to tell me that he would want me to forgive. I know that too. He told me. And what did he get for that?
She's so overtook by rage and revenge that she won't even do the man's last dying wish. She wants to honor him as much as possible because of how much he helped her in life. But in turn, she's become this bloodthirsty, evil person, then transition back to Joel. It seems like the plan is working perfectly fine, no infected in sight, and they just have to walk a little bit more. They're even having conversations about where they're going next.
We're going to Wyoming. What? It's a huge state. It can fit 2 more people.
Maybe we just call this one a success and say our fall farewells.
This is how it goes. He's like, no, Ellie, never, ever, ever happening. I'm gonna ask you a million more times. And he's like, whoa!
They start getting shot by someone at the tower, and Joel is forced to confront him.
Please don't do it.
Joel hears a radio coming from his body, and it's Kathleen.
Clear them.
Joel is able to hit one of his shots and kills the person driving. They crash into a building while the rest stop and confront Henry and Sam.
Did you ever stop to think that maybe he was supposed to die?
He's just a fucking kid.
Well, kids die, Henry.
Just as Kathleen is about to shoot him, the car that crashed into the building falls down deep into the hole. This is actually where the infected was taken to instead of the tunnels. Joel is still up there, so he's sniping to protect his whole crew. After a while, a bloater comes out. A bloater is an enemy type in The Last of Us that is extremely strong. In the game, they literally one-shot you and rip your entire head off. Kinda how like they did this guy. While Ellie is trying to escape, she notices Henry and Sam struggling under a car. Ellie, of course, being the person that she is, goes to try to save them. She actually succeeds in this, and right before they're about to leave town, Kathleen stops them at gunpoint. They get extremely lucky because Kathleen finally gets a taste of her own medicine. Joel and the whole team is able to escape to a motel. While they're in here, Joel and Henry kind of bond together. Joel even decides to ask Henry if they want to stay with them. We then see Ellie in Sam's room. Sam decides to ask Ellie a question.
My blood is medicine.
Ellie, in an attempt to save her friend, tries to use her blood as medicine. It makes sense for Ellie, who is still young and is just desperate to have a friend her age. She also made a promise to Sam that she will stay up with him. She ends up falling asleep, and when she talks to Sam, he's already turned. She runs for her life and gets to Joel and Henry's room. Henry is forced to make the horrible decision of shooting his brother Sam. Henry then points the gun towards himself and shoots it. After this, Joel and Ellie decide to bury them. On top of Sam's grave, Ellie leaves the pieces of paper that they were communicating with. She then writes, "I'm sorry," and leaves it on the grave. I feel like this part especially made me just sad as hell, because you can see that Ellie really does like them during the whole episode. I didn't go into full details about every single conversation because I feel like you won't get the same effect unless you watch the episode itself. If you haven't watched any episodes, I promise you watch this one. To me, it is basically almost a perfect 10. The only thing that stops it from being a 10 to me is Kathleen scene kind of do drag on a bit, and I feel like her acting isn't the best. No dissing the actress or whatever, but I feel like she has a really nice girl face, and it's kind of hard to sell this whole, you know, horrible person thing. Maybe it's just me, but let me know what y'all think down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the video, and of course, sub if you're new. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.